everyone, I am Too Fish Too Funk, and I recently watched a couple videos that really got my mind thinking quite a bit. So I want to talk about how I can save the world, I can save America, and thus the world by extension. Because if you don't know me, why would you? Of course, I'm just a regular white guy. But that is the main problem. Western society and women mostly have just discounted natural white men who are homosexual, and it's no good. Anyway, the problem is that it's as described by the tribe of men, or legion of men now, I guess that's what he calls himself. But this guy makes some very valid points, and like his most recent video, the one that I'm talking about, I agree with 98% of what he says in that video. And the real thing is, though, I'm here to talk about myself and why I can save America and thus the world by extension. But first you have to know about who I am. I am a disabled man, and this is the main thing that really points to why Western women immediately discount me. They don't even look at me. As soon as they hear I'm disabled, look at me, I'm decently handsome, I think, anyway, and they immediately toss me aside. They think, oh, this guy's nothing because he's disabled. But if you know anything about my disability, you know that it takes a very strong person to overcome the difficulties and disabilities that I've had in life. And I'll tell you about more of that later if you are interested. But right now I want to talk about how and why I will save the world. First, how I would save the world is by sharing my story of inspiration, because I am the most miraculous man. The top 1/3 of 100% of 1% out of it all. I am the most exceptional man you will ever meet in America alive today. Sure, I may not be financially as secure as Bill Gates or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or whoever else, but they don't have the story that I have. They don't have the miraculous life experiences, and they might have enacted some miracles decades ago, especially with the creation of the computer or whatever else. And Elon Musk with his space rockets and all that. That's what he was first known for. And while I don't have that, what I do have is the personal development in my soul and my character. And that is, I think, what is going to save the world. When I can inspire men all around the world, or mostly here in America, but everywhere else in the world as well, to improve themselves through my philosophy of self-cultivation. That is how I've been able to wake up from a coma, a 10-week-long coma, and which really kind of pushed the reset button on my life. I had to learn to do everything all over again, starting with how to crawl. I mean, do you have any idea what it's like to be a 21-year-old man and have to learn to walk again by crawling first, of course, just like a baby? And yeah, sure, the tribe of men says that men nowadays are according to the 80-20 rule, there are so many men that just don't amount to anything in life, really. This is why I'm here to inspire you all to improve yourselves through my philosophy of self-cultivation. And that is what will save everyone else from being a skid mark on life. Like, as the Tribe of Men guy, I think his name is Bo, from the Tribe of Men, or Legion of Men now. He says that men who don't amount to anything are skid marks on life. They're just, because they don't know how to wipe their own ass. And can you even respect a guy like that? And sure, there may be some passport bros who do that. Like the first time I initially tried to be a passport bro was back in 2017, I think. I flew to China, and the problem with China was that the women there were kind of westernized, and they're kind of the same, but when you're a man who doesn't amount to much in life, you can't really contribute to any society or relationship, because that's what it really amounts to. If you're unable to contribute into the relationship, they're just gonna use you and abuse you and cheat on you, like most passport bros ends up happening to them, because they don't really contribute to anything. They just think, well, I'm an American citizen, so I should be able to go to Colombia or Philippines or Thailand or whatever, and women should just be clamoring to get my attention. But no, women have self-respect, and they deserve respect all over the world, because they are the mothers of our children, good ones anyway. But that's the problem with Western women. They've been so indoctrinated and brainwashed by feminism now that they just use and abuse men. They don't even realize that men are what moves the world. We are the ones who create change and make something big happen in the world, just like I'm trying to do now. I'm sure there are some women that do that and make changes, but that is very, very rare exception. That is a very rare exception. But what I'm trying to say is that men need to just start listening to me and using my philosophy of self-cultivation to improve themselves. And once you improve yourself, you can do something practical with the skills that you've developed in the improvement of yourself. And so, I guess I need to tell you about my philosophy of self-cultivation now. This is how I've improved myself and learned to do everything all over again in life. And what it really amounts to is a trial and error method of doing anything. And so, when you try something, you will, given on your abilities, there's a chance that you will succeed or you will fail. And my idea is that, well, because of my brain injury and the destruction of how I've had to restart everything over in life, there's a very good chance that I will fail whenever trying anything new. And so I've had to learn to turn those failures into successes. And by doing that, every single failure is a success if you can adopt my mindset. And that is to fail and fail and fail until you succeed. You learn all the ways that you can fail, all the different ways that you will fail. And then you will eventually find the way to succeed. And that is my method of trial and error. You learn all the ways that you can fail. Then you prepare for all those different ways to fail. And eventually you will succeed. And once you've succeeded, you can put a notch on your belt and say, okay, there's another skill that I've learned. And that's how I had to learn everything all over again. And I did that with riding a bicycle, I did that with running, I did that with walking, I did that with every single assistive device that I've had to use. Because, yeah, I did the wheelchair, I did the walker, I did the cane, then I went to college. Well, I was in college with a cane. But it's all the advancement of the mind. Because this is the most powerful tool that every human has. And I just want to inspire the world and men all around, especially young men. Because young men are the ones who will move this world. And so, yeah, I'm 38 years old now. I'm long past my prime. My prime was spent learning to do basic actions again. And going to school and advancing my mind and learning all of the different material that I need to know in life. And I'm still not I still don't consider myself a success yet, because I'm a strong heterosexual male and I haven't found a woman to be with me, and I plan to be a passport bro, and my dream is to find my Filipino queen, and I will treat her as she deserves to be treated, like any queen, but she needs to also treat me as a king. And I even fell in love with the Filipina several times several months ago, and she broke my heart and destroyed my dreams of success in life. And so I had to reconsolidate and reconsider what I wanted to do in life. And this is what has allowed me to think that maybe it was a sign. Maybe I'm destined to follow my real dream and save the world. And I am the one that can do it. If I can get a little bit of help and somebody else to shout my message out to the world. So please share this video. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff that every YouTuber asks you to. I don't consider myself a YouTuber, as this is my first real video in a long time. Because I used to live in China, and we'll talk about that at a later date. But for now, I just want to inspire you all to improve yourselves, because that is the key. That is the number one thing that young men need to do. Don't be a skid mark on life. and throw away the potential that you all have, because you all are miracles. Every human being with a beating heart is a miracle, as I'm a professionally licensed massage therapist, licensed and trained here in America. So I know. I've had to study and I've had to learn all about the human anatomy and how each and every organ system, every organelle, every organ system, every organism, it's all a very small building block that leads to a bigger building block, that leads to a bigger, and that leads to the final God's creation, which is us as the dominant species on the planet. And I know this is probably sounding kind of like a rant and goes off on all sorts of tangents here and there, but I really think that I can save America, and I will do it by performing miracles again. So, I am a disabled man who I had my motorcycle crash when I was 21 years old, and just surviving that alone was a miracle indeed, because I broke 3 vertebrae in my spine, cracked my head open, destroyed my nose, and I needed to get it rebuilt. And then I spent 10 weeks in a coma, finally waking up after 10 weeks because of a lot of support from my family, love and support from my family. And so I'm able to now show you that I've had to perform several miracles since that first one of survival. Now I've had to perform the miracle of learning everything in life again. And then I've had to perform the miracle of learning another language. I speak moderately well in Chinese because I've always been interested in China and Chinese culture, especially Chinese women. But with the way the world is going right now, I don't think there's any real chance that I can meet a Chinese woman. And because, well, I've already tried that and I've failed. I moved to China for 3 years, lived with a girl for almost 3 years, and thought she was the one, but she ended up just using me and thought of me as an ATM machine, I guess. And so that no longer an option. And now I'm just thinking I need to save the world before I can find my happiness. And that's it.